Welcome, everybody, to Communication and Development Studies first podcast. And we call it Say It Loud, Conversations on Communication for Development. And here at Say It Loud, let's start again.
Say It Loud, Voices of Change.
Welcome, everyone, to Communication and Development Studies first podcast. We call it Say It Loud, Conversations on Communication for Development. And we say this out loud, amplifying voices to drive change. And today, I'll introduce myself. I'm Rose Moremoholo, and I am with...
I am Emmanuel Mensah, and I'm super excited to be here today, Rose. This is our first edition of a number of series of podcasts that we'll be hosting here on Ohio University. And the department is Communications for Development Studies. And today we have an exciting person here whom we are going to interview and talk to about this whole initiative. And I'm super duper excited. Rose, are you?
I certainly am. And we will let this guest introduce herself because I know we love her and I know the world will.
Hello, Rose, and hello, Emmanuel. It's so wonderful to be here. Believe me, I'm equally excited as both of you. This is a dream in the making for many years, and finally we have it on the road. The first podcast. I never thought I would be the first one being in this show of yours, but I'm very delighted. My name is Dr. Saumya Pant. I'm the Director of Communication and Development Studies here at Center for International Studies and Scripps, College of Communication at Ohio University. And I hope to have many listeners tuning in to our podcast so that it can become a sustainable show on the road.
Oh, yeah, you had that right. We are looking forward to a great audience. Mm-hmm. And now we will get down into business, right?
Exactly.
We are excited. So, Dr. Pant, what is Communication and Development Studies as a program and as
a field of study?
As a field of study,
mm-hmm.
Yes.
So let me try and answer that with a short story. Let me play a scenario for you guys. So imagine you're in a small village somewhere in north of India, and there is this young girl who is struggling to find solutions to her problems. What problems? They could be education, it could be employment, it could be good parenting, it could be good livelihood, sanitation. It could be another developing issue, which often is empowerment and equality for her with other men in the village. And she's struggling to find ways to address these problems. And there is really no one way, because it's a very complex issue we're talking about. And more development programs will try to go into this village and address these needs. But we have seen historically how they keep failing at removing these problems for this young girl. That's where we come in with CommDev, and we say communication can play a vital role in this development dilemma, which is how to address the problems of these young people living at grassroots and the community level. And role of communication, more and more disciplinary kind of approach has been appreciated in development programs, but still there is a very big lag between wanting to do it right and actually doing it right. So programs such as Communication Development Studies encourage us to pay more attention to the different roles strategic communication can play in these development projects. And it doesn't only start from you and I here, which would again be a very top privileged institutional position, but it starts from the grassroots. So one can go to this girl and talk to her about what are her needs. How does she see these problems affecting her everyday life? What are her priorities in approaching her problems? How and where does she effectively communicate in her geography, in her cultural space? And once we understand those communication styles, those communication choices, those communication preferences, we can begin to participate with her on devising a plan for social change, in which then communication becomes a participatory approach. So CommDev definitely tries to bring to fore the community needs, the community, let's say, demands in wanting their own change. And in doing so, we involve the community in their own change. And we realize more and more sustainable change can only come when community is participating in their own change, the way they want it and how quick and how slow they want it too. So we have to be patient, and we're very excited here in CommDev. We include scholars, practitioners from all over the world who already come with such experience of something that's been missing in their countries, in their communities, and they want to come and address it here. So it's like a sabbatical our students take for 2 years, and they come and they discuss and they engage and they talk, and we figure it out together. Sometimes we don't figure it out, but we raise good questions so that we can clearly begin to talk about social change at the grassroots level. So that's the main priority of this program here at Ohio University.
Okay, so if you're hearing CommDev simply means Communications for Development Studies. We love to cut it short and call it CommDev. So If you're hearing Dr. Pant say a lot of CommDev, it just means Communication for Development Studies. Mm-hmm. Well, Dr. Pant, so what are some of the impactful projects that you've seen emerge from this program?
So my biggest thrill in working in this program is our students. As they graduate, they each go to destinations all over the world, one way or the other engaged in work in social change. And I think each of them is doing amazing work, contributing back to the community. So I would say that's my biggest reward for running this program. But besides that, we believe a lot in the amalgam of theory and practice. So a lot of our work cannot happen if it is remaining within the classroom walls. So we end up going out and experiencing the world and identifying the problems right here in Appalachia around us, which is in Athens, Ohio, right? We see a lot of developing issues are right here. We don't need to travel to the African continent or the Asian continent. You can find them 2 miles outside Athens. So we work with partners such as Rural Action, Passion Works, in trying to identify these problems and help as and when to address the solution spaces. One such project that happened recently was in the summer of 2024, a group of CommDevers, Communication Development Studies students, along with myself, made a visit to Brazil to study the role of participatory communication and pedagogy, as Freire has talked about in his seminal work, Pedagogy of the Oppressed. We wanted to go and navigate those projects which were using Freirean approach to social change. And that is what took us outside our classroom to another country where these projects are happening at the grassroots level in the realm of education, in the realm of empowerment for gender. And I think that those 12 days were magical in us immersing in real lives of people and experiencing social change. So we keep pushing the envelope. We don't stay within the classroom. So many projects such as these have happened. If I may add, there has been a recent creation of a positive deviance learning community on campus, which came out of a workshop that was held by Dr. Arvind Singhal from University of Texas, El Paso, who came to Athens, Ohio, and gave us a 3-day workshop with our partners around Appalachia, around Southeast Ohio. And today we are actually running the first learning community of practice, which uses positive deviance approach to addressing complex social problems in our area. So that has been, those two, I would say, are the immediate projects that have come out of CommDev, and many more to come in the coming future.
I'm very excited you mentioned those two. I was very privileged to be part of them. And if I have to say so myself, as a student within the Communication and Development Studies program, those were the best experiences for my life, and those that I believe will continue to inform the work I will do in the future. But now we started this project the podcast, and we continue to widen our stream to let the people know what the program is about and what it is doing in this world. And what can you say? What is the media's influence in communication and social change? What role does it play?
So, Rose, it was wonderful having you in both those projects. And I know Emmanuel has just started, and there'll be many more such projects where we will work together. So the role, this is very interesting because I think CommDev is a very treasured, hidden gem. We do not intend to keep it in the hide, but it's a very rare program. So often when you're doing your research, where to go study, it doesn't pop up on your computer screen till you actually navigate it. And that's for a reason. This is the only program other than one that in the US is a flagship program in Masters in Communication and Development Studies. We don't have anything other than this. So we obviously want to amplify and augment our voice and let the world know what we do here. But not because we want to be visible to attract more students. That's not my objective for this podcast. It's really to make social change and issues that matter to all of us here in this program relevant to the world outside. I want visibility through this podcast for the kind of, let's say, magic, this kind of thinking and approach to social change can be for many more communities of learners around the world. So if this podcast can reach more and more people and include them in the process of social change, whether it is with us or whether it is without us, or creating more networks of communities of learners, such as the PD one we created, that can continue working and galvanize this work of social change, would be, I guess, one of the important gifts we can give from CommDev to the world outside of practitioners and thinkers likewise. So I wish, as well as we continue using effectively different communication channels such as podcast, which is quick, which is immediate. We have an infrastructure here that is so sophisticated. All of you, our students, actually learn how to use podcasts effectively, end up using it for your creative projects, your master's capstone projects. So why not use that strength? Why not use that learning opportunity to talk about social change at a broader level and not just at the level of Ohio University? So I'm hoping it will do a lot more than just one more communication intervention coming out of otherwise a great program such as CommDev.
Okay. Now that we've got that out of the way, it doesn't mean it was not fun, but we are getting to the peak of the fun. CommDev is known for its versatility, for its inclusivity, and its fun being we are the life of the party at OU. How do you get such awesome students, Dr. Pant?
That's a very good question, Rose. I'm very fortunate. Let's put it this way. We're 21 students right now in both the years together who are from 16 different countries. We don't have a single domestic student. So when a domestic student becomes part of CommDev, she becomes the international student. So, it's a vibrant program, brings in culture from all over the world. A classroom in CommDev can teach itself. You don't need me. You don't need that instructor, because each of you brings in so much of cultural asset that it all just comes together as a big blast of fun. So how do we have fun? We have potlucks. Oh, the potlucks, where we have more than 16 different dishes being cooked from 16 different cultures, which are highly attended by even our partners in the university. We have get-togethers, we go out on field trips, and we typically hear that, and tell me if I'm wrong, Emmanuel, that, we are having too much fun. CommDev, just keep partying. I really want to talk to those people and say, do you know what we really do. While we are partying, we're celebrating our diversity.
Yes.
And in doing so, we are learning so much about the issue on hand. It's never just party. Yeah, we're loud, we're happy, we're vivacious. We like to laugh. We're a family. We're a community. We don't see ourselves as the outsider. Everybody here is invested in everybody's sadness and happiness. So once in a while, if we can let out steam and have fun, we do. But we never run away from a responsibility. We never run away from a good conference, from a good topic of conversation. And that's why I think we're very visible. What do you think, Rose?
I tell them all the time that CommDev is not just limited to the classroom.
Mm-hmm.
We are community workers.
Mm-hmm.
We are out there in the community.
Mm-hmm.
We need to integrate with the community. And one of the ways by which we do that is through potlucks, is through dinners, and it's through, even if you see us partying, we are actually working. And so it's always educative, informative, and then serving our surroundings. That is for us. We don't just sit in the, it's not science. We don't sit in the classroom and remain in the classroom. It's field work. So if you want to be on the field, you want to be a social worker, you want to be a social change maker, you have to be in the field. You don't cross your legs and sit in the office. And that's what CommDev is all about.
And not only that, but even in the field, our different fields of study, we are so diverse. It's not just communicators. We have people who are in journalism. We have people who are in theater. We have people who are environmental studies.
Health, education.
It's like an infusion of not just culture, but also different expertise, different like experiences. So it's a beautiful thing to watch.
Yeah.
I mean, not so many programs, but let me be confident. None of the programs in OU give such sense of belonging, give such content of, and I feel like Dr. Pant, you have the best of the best in this university, right?
And none of this happens by chance. This has happened by design. Almost 40 years back, when this program was created by the founding members, they envisioned this culture for this program, right? Which means every Friday, a colloquium was put on the calendar. Every Friday, CommDevers, whatever their week may look like, have the opportunity to come for an hour and a half session where everybody meets each other. We once in a while will invite a speaker so that we can have some conversation that's different from everything else that we've been talking about the whole week. We may go visit. We recently went to the Gathering Place just to go see how our local community is dealing with, climate issues, with issues of poverty, and how this house has become a haven. But while doing that, we'll walk up to the campus, we'll laugh, we'll engage, we'll go for a coffee, we'll sit and discuss about, things that matter to us, we'll cry. And what's wrong with that? That's how it was designed to fit in that social time while we're doing important work. And that then goes outside the classroom. And we all create relationships. We meet, we call on each other when we need help, because that's the idea of CommDev.
Yeah.
That's what a community wants. When you're a practitioner in the field, you want to be part of a community. You want to engage with them. And we learned that firsthand here in our classroom. This is like a mini world. It's a microcosm of what's out there. A CommDev classroom to me is just that. It's like going out to Sierra Leone and working with the practitioners in the field. How do you learn how to do that? You learn that here in our classroom and outside. And then you can go anywhere in the world because you've learned how to connect with human, how to connect with people, and how to celebrate humanity. That's what CommDev is. What just appears on the outside is all wilderness. And let it be. I'm happy we're wild. I have no problem being told that you guys have too much fun. Well, then that means we're doing something right.
Exactly.
Isn't education supposed to be fun? We believe in Freire. If you're not enjoying it, you don't own it. And if you enjoy it, you will own it. And I'm proud to say that every year new cohorts, they come, they leave. What they leave with is a relationship. And that's for life. So
Dr.
welcome
Pant,
to the party.
How competitive is the CommDev program? How many applications do you receive yearly, and how do you select your students?
I tell you, as you see, if you could see, you'll see I'm putting my hand on my head, because it's a blast. It's a blast for me to have 149 applications this year. And unfortunately, or coincidentally, we can't select everyone, right? It's a program that has to also run within a framework of what's doable. And we can't have everyone come here. I'll always keep hoping they'll keep applying again and again, so they make it one day to the program, or they go somewhere where they can get the same sense of satisfaction. But yeah, it's very competitive. Like I said, we don't have many programs at master's level that do this. We don't have a PhD in CommDev, leave alone a master's anywhere else. And we're looking at the fit, we're looking at the match, we're looking at this. Do they have the ability to acculturate? Do they want to come here because they want to go beyond the classroom? If they're just looking for a degree, then they can be anywhere. But if they're looking for an experience of learning, you come here. So yeah, it's competitive. We're getting better and better at how to manage the applications, but I'm grateful to my colleagues who helped me in the process of doing this. But at the end of the day, I get amazing all of you. So it's always something I look forward to.
Mm-hmm. And just a highlight, I think there are so many important things we highlighted in this podcast. If I were to let the listener leave with just 4 things, just know that communication and development studies is anchored on 4 things. It's culture-centered. It is participatory. These are the words we learn every day
in classroom.
Yeah. It is very experiential and it is very inclusive. Nothing for the people without the people. Mm-hmm. This is what anchors communication and development. And I believe that Dr. Pant, going forward, these are the things that those that have interest in joining the program should carry with them, knowing that they do not leave their experiences back home to come to the United States and then leave, behind the shadows. Don't you think?
Absolutely. I'll only add to the listeners and subscribers of this program that please know that you don't have to be in CommDev to be part of our community. You can be a friend of CommDev. Believe me, we have so many friends.
We have lots of friends
of CommDev who will show up for all our events and all our colloquium and everything, because they just love the idea of experiencing the joy of learning. So if you cannot be in this program, you don't have to. There are many ways of reaching out to us, write to us, connect with us on our social media, and we'll be very happy to include you in our ventures. We love that.
Oh yeah, definitely. I think we've had really good experiences. UNICEF for one, and other development partners as well. So we are calling on to them as well to listen to this podcast and come share their views about what the communication and development studies students are doing.
All right. Thank you, Dr. Pant,
Thank
for
you so
coming.
much.
We know you're a very busy person. Thank you.
Thank you.
This has been Say It Loud, Voices of Change. Thank you for tuning in. Join us on our next episode. Produced by Communication and Development Studies and the cast, executive producer Jessica Ngolo, recording manager Betty Kankambuedu, editor and graphic designer Felipe Barella, guest coordinators Zoya Fatima Hamad and Erica Edzema, administrator Esther Efrier, guided by the director of the program, Dr. Saumya Pant.